Welcome to Strip Coverlet, where we squeeze the bigger picture out of literature. I'm Adrian Fort, and we're here for the first in a 52-part series, journeying through Song of Myself by Walt Whitman. This is a video which will appear, of course, in three playlists here on the channel. Number one, the Song of Myself playlist. Number two, the Walt Whitman playlist. And number three, the Poetry Discussion playlist. So, we are here for verse 1 of Song of Myself. This is, like I said, the first of a 52-part series. It is generally, Song of Myself, generally broken down into 52 constituent parts. So, a couple things that we're going to want to look for here. Tone. Look for the tone that Whitman is setting forth. Look for anything that, in this first part, look for Whitman to put his thumb on anything. There's really only one thing that we know we're doing here, and it will become apparent very early in the poem. But the first verse reads as such: I celebrate myself and sing myself, and what I assume, you shall assume. For every atom belonging to me as good belongs to you. I loaf and invite my soul. I lean and loaf at my ease, observing a spear of summer grass. My tongue, every atom of my blood, formed from this soil, this air, born here of parents born here, from parents the same, and their parents the same. I, now 37 years old, in perfect health, begin, hoping to cease not until death. Creeds and schools in abeyance, retiring back a while sufficed at what they are, but never forgotten. I harbor, for good or bad, I permit to speak at every hazard. Nature without check, with original energy. Now, this is as good an opening salvo as one would hope to find. This is unapologetically the beginning of something. This is, in the poetic sense, as much of a throat clearing as any opening, any prologue, any first chapter you would ever want to read. And it is, as such, in poetry. So you think of big poetry movements before this. You think of Paradise Lost. And maybe it's just because Paradise Lost is so otherworldly. I don't think we get this in Paradise Lost. I think that we are thrown more haphazardly into the world which is created. You think of Shakespeare's sonnets. We don't get this. We don't get an opening salvo to say, hey, babe, we're going to try some stuff. Don't argue. Just experience it with me, man. This is an invitation. This is an invitation saying, don't judge. Just experience this with me. I'm going to tell you some stuff, and you're going to tell me some stuff back. Note here, and going forward, the value of life, the value of country, the value of the self, the value of the other, and even the very value of life in general. Not yours or mine, the life of that spear of summer grass, the life of eagles mid-air indalliance. This is, at times, very hippy-dippy. This is mostly very spiritual, not religious. Whitman might even text you in the middle of the night and ask you what time you were born. The word choices here, some of the word choices. We have celebrate and we have sing. Now, in our culture today, I think that if you were to talk about celebration, if you were to talk about singing, if you were to talk about song, I think it is highly unlikely that you would do so in coordination with this word right here, loaf. Are we loafing while we celebrate? Are we loafing around to sing songs? But this is there is an energy, if I could be so hippy dippy as Walt Whitman here. There is an energy to Walt Whitman that is almost exclusively Walt Whitman. It's almost a hurry up and wait type mentality. I'm going to celebrate myself. I'm going to sing myself. But by God, I'm going to do it on my own time. And where are we at? Nature without check with original energy. It is not just that Walt Whitman is sort of, you almost want to say that he's counteracting his own words. He is saying one thing and then immediately underwriting it with something else. But I think that what it is this is Walt Whitman's attempt to really diagnose nature. I think if you've been in the woods at some point, right? And it's very serene, very calm, very quiet, until that predator bird finds itself a squirrel. And that is very hurry up, very right now, very in your face, very direct. And then you're right back to dalliance. You're right back to, loafing about. I think that this dichotomy of energy is ever present in Walt Whitman's poetry, and it's something that is difficult to see until you see it in the moment. If that makes any sense. I don't even know if that makes sense. Look at me Whitmaning about right now. But we have in this poem Walt Whitman going back and forth between loafing and very right now. I loaf and invite my soul. Does the term invite my soul seem to loaf about? Does it seem like that is a very passive statement? I invite my soul. And then we go from I lean and loaf at my ease observing a spear of summer grass. You don't have to tell me that, Walt Whitman. I understand that's probably what's going on. If you're staring at a spear of grass, you were leaning and you were loafing. And to jump straight from such a lazy statement, that's a lazy statement, right? I lean and loaf at my ease, observing a spear of summer grass. My tongue, every atom of my blood, formed from this soil, this air. I think that this dichotomy of energy is something to follow throughout the entirety of these 52 parts. And the idea set out there at first, I celebrate myself and sing myself. This is going to be very important to take with us through the rest of these verses. It is maybe one of the sort of root sources in maybe all of letters, but certainly in American letters, of my truth versus the truth, right? You are going to understand, we are going to understand, we are going to experience through these verses not the truth. We are going to experience through these poems, through these verses, the world according to Whitman. And that's going to be very apparent, right? We're going to be so close to this now 37-year-old poet in perfect health beginning that it becomes just the same way when your mother gets mad at you for something, you know where that anger started. When your mother turns to you with that look, you know it's because of what you just said, is what you just did, whatever it is. You know immediately because you know your mother. In that same way, we will know Walt Whitman, and we will know these moments where he's being very Walt Whitman, right? We will know these moments where you're not going to see it coming, right? But these jumps from I lean and loaf at my ease, observing a spear of summer grass, my tongue, you're not going to see them coming, but you're going to know, oh, okay, yeah, no, we're in that world still. So that is all I have for this verse 1 of A Song of Myself. If you like or appreciate what I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other literature lovers. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, consider hitting the subscribe button. Literature is the only thing I talk about. There's poetry on the channel every Monday. We're currently reading through short story by short story, Ernest Hemingway's Finca Vigia edition. We just finished Dubliners by James Joyce. And we're going through Carrie by Stephen King right now, so those playlists are all on the channel as well. And as always, I hope to have you back for the next one.